When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
There is a reason that Maconi Setup Shop is partnered with more real-world tracks and companies, including Junior Motorsports, than any other group on the iRacing service.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Well, hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Maconi Entertainment, and welcome to round 3 of Jeff Maconi's Boot Camp. My name is Ron Mullins. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Dylan Coyle. Howie Burrows is our producer for tonight's show. Here on Maconi Entertainment, always here to bring the action to life. This is the 3rd round of Jeff's training for that ARCA race he'll be participating in a couple of weeks' time. So, shocker to all shockers, we're running the ARCA cars here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We've already done this 2 weeks in a row. Come back for the 4th week to see if we do it again. But Dylan, welcome into the small little mini-series that we're running here on these broadcasts. First time we've ever worked together on the air, but welcome in. This is going to be some fun tonight.
Is this going to be more of a working together or having fun together with everybody watching? Because it is the boot camp, and we do need to see if Jeff Maconi can go through the ringer here at this just over half-mile circuit. It is one of the oldest racetracks, honestly, anywhere in the world, and it's one of the best ones, I think, one of the best short tracks in North America. I don't think many compare. I hope one day we can get back here in some national series racing, but for now, it's the Jeff Maconi Boot Camp.
Yeah, I will say, fingers crossed, we'll be able to see some higher level NASCAR stuff run around here someday, and hopefully not get overwhelmed by whatever the hell they're looking to build there. I think their latest thing was they're going to make a soccer stadium around there. I don't really know. Usually paying attention with that sort of storylines in the news is it's trying to pick up antimatter with chopsticks. It is that difficult to try and follow. But hey, we're just going to have some fun and enjoy this racing that we've had over the past 2 weeks. Jeff Maconi has done pretty well yet to grab a win. The one driver to grab the 2 wins thus far this season has been Larry Pace in the 00 car. He has been setting the pace. Yes, we have made that pun about 15,000 times thus far this season, and will it ever grow? Board survey says probably not. But Larry Pace been incredibly quick, went from last to first 1 week ago, and I have a feeling that Pace is going to be the pace setter yet again.
Yeah, 100%. And Jeff, we see him on screen right now, and now we see the entirety of this half-mile racetrack. It's one that can lead to a lot of difficulty in making passes when there's congestion, when there are a lot of cars involved in the race. This is a smaller field. It doesn't mean, though, that the competition is going to be any less close, any less intense. Jeff really wants to win one of these things. Of course, you were talking about it. Larry Pace has won the last 2 rounds here. I think we should make a rule. If Jeff does not win but finishes on the podium, we do not interview Jeff. I mean, listen, Jeff is the one that runs this channel, that is running this race, but I think we've got to take some control here, and I think I'm going to make that rule, and I will lay on the sword on it if he gets upset. We will not interview him if he does not win this race.
Well, I will leave that decision to you, Dylan. I don't know about you, but personally, I would like to keep my job. About 1 minute and 50 seconds left to go here in this warm-up session. We're following him.
I'd like to see him win.
Yeah, that would actually be pretty... And Howie from the production
that's
truck,
not my problem.
All you would have to do is worry about us dragging whoever it may be into the broadcast booth. So that's rather fun. Jeff does have the keys, though, so I'm not sure how well we would be able to barge him out. Maybe just put a crowbar over the door or something.
We'll figure it out, you know. He doesn't have the keys to us responding to him. Let's just say that.
There we go. It's we'll have to wait and see as we get a panoramic view and get the sight, the wonderful sight it is on the iRacing platform of some of these drivers' incredibly soulless eyes. Man, it reminds me of my schooling days after writing an essay and having to stay up until about 12 o'clock midnight trying to write some stuff back in my high school days. Very happy that I had ChatGPT in my final year.
You might not want to. Hey, you might not want to say that too loud because I bet you they'll come after you for that ChatGPT usage even years after the fact. I'm just saying, be careful.
You don't think the statute of limitations have run out? Hey, my professor is watching that. See, that assumes I went to college, which I didn't. I don't even think Clown College would accept me.
Hey man, as the head dean of the Clown College, with Jeff as my associate dean. Look at that, he's getting passed. I don't care if he's on worn tires right there, but he's getting passed in practice. Oh no, he's doing the passing. Ooh, didn't mean to say that. Yeah, this is going to be a fun broadcast. This is 100%. We've got another broadcast coming up tonight as warm-up is over here, and that is with Goat Locker Racing. I'll be on that one. Howie, our producer, I'm not sure, Howie, if you'll be with us in that one. Not sure if you will, but regardless, I'll be more serious in that one as I usually am. I've been told the chains have been taken off the seriousness, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to be my comedic self, as it will. Hey, Braxton, he's P1.
Yeah, Braxton DeWeese got to start from the pole in tonight's race. Larry Pace set to join him on the front row. We have Austin Mays starting this race in the number 6 car in third. Tyler Massey will join him on the second row. We have Mike Wayne Robinson starting this race in fifth. Jeff Maconi not setting a qualifying time, and I think what he may be trying to do with that Casey Prude running at your 7-car field. So it won't be a complete orange to orange comparison compared to what we saw from Larry Pace 1 week ago. So he'll be starting from second to last and trying to make his way up to first. So maybe he'll start second to last and finish second to first. Let's just wait and see.
I mean, it could be that way. You know what? I feel like I want to have another rule. Every time Jeff gets passed by somebody in this race, as Larry Pace is the intimidator, I will play on my harmonica. And you guys will have to deal with it.
This is going to be rather funny. We were kind of talking about this before the show. If keen viewers who have tuned into my broadcast in the past, i.e. my father downstairs, will know, unfortunately, that I do have a harmonica myself. We'll just have to do like some weird harmonica. See, the thing is, Dylan, I think you can play your harmonica well, which is the main difference to me. I could just make noise with it. So I think in terms of any sort of musical notes.
Listen, every note is a musical note, and if playing an instrument means to get noise out of an instrument, then you can play very well.
Yeah, let me, I may need to like create a little tempo with like, I'm not sure if that's getting picked up on the microphone, the pen clicking there.
Oh, I heard that. No, I appreciated that right there as the pace car gets a little bit of a shove into turn one by good old Braxton DeWeese in there. Yeah, 7 cars in this race.
Car.
Yeah, no, hit the race car. Yeah, what? Good old days of thunder. But 75 laps until we get to the halfway fun flag, if you will. And 150 laps here. Let's see what happens at Nashville. If you ate first, man, you could be second or third or fourth or fifth, sixth or seventh, but you're definitely last.
I didn't pay attention too much in math class. I know first and that's about it. The green flag's that, and the drivers are on their way. Let's see how they do heading off through the first few laps of this race. Braxton DeWeese in that 5-car, holding onto the inside line. Still Larry Pace trying to make his own around the outside, but he's going to line back into these drivers single file out, very briefly heading down that back straightaway, off into 3 and 4 right now. Tyler Massey and Jeff Maconi currently side by side. Maconi on the hard charger already started this race in 6th. He's already made his way up to 5th and is trying to get a move done for 4th, and he does so successfully. They're still side by side, hang down the back straightaway though.
Yeah, he'll get the move done into 3. He'll go a little bit later on the brake, slide up in mid-corner. Oh, and a little bit of a scrape of the wall back in 5th, 6th, and 7th. All of them a bit squirrely to begin with, but we're 3 laps in and clean so far. Jeff Maconi looking to make good on that fastest lap and go into P3.
Yeah, Jeff Maconi, purple with the lap times. Let's see if he'll be able to grab that gold at the end of this race. Some more wall scraping a little bit farther in the back involving Mike Wayne Robinson, the number 8 car, I believe. I saw that car with a plume of smoke coming out of it, so I'm not sure what the other passengers are in that machine, but he currently finds himself in 6th at the present moment, smoking out as he finds himself dropping a little bit farther back off the tail of the number 17 of Tyler Massey, but it's still close at the front of the field. Louise leading at pace in P2. Maconi running out her podium.
Maconi looking to make the high line or the midline work while the two leaders go side by side. Larry Pace wants to take it away from DeWeese, who scrapes the wall coming out of 4. However, Pace with that inside track seemed to have just a small edge going into 1, but a fight back from 2.
It's still a close side-by-side fight, hang down into 3 and 4. Larry Pace on the inside line. DeWeese gonna get hung out to dry on the outside line, getting oh so close to that exit wall. Down that start-finish straightaway. Maconi, he's now gonna try and pick up the pieces with that 5 car, trying to get its bearing straight side-by-side, coming out 1 and 2. Pace gonna take the race lead. DeWeese in a fight for his life to remain in P2. Maconi looking to get a move done to slip his way up into 2nd. Austin Wise in the 6 car gonna look to follow.
Gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with Braxton's performance on that outside line, but P2 is no longer his. He's unable to fight back. Now, Amiz is trying to find that inside track. I think he is down the inside. Oh, he was briefly going into 3. However, a nice fight back from the number 5 machine to keep 3rd place for now. But look at the 6 right on that left rear quarter panel of DeWeese.
And it's very ominous at this very early stage to find Larry Pace in that 00 car at the front of the field. Not a big gap to himself and Jeff Maconi for P1 and P2, but about 0.2 of a second. It's a sight about as ominous as a message in the YouTube chat from a user named Ramair Ron, which for full transparency, folks, is my father, who said don't, which I believe was in reference to me breaking out the harmonica. So don't, I believe you may have to be on your own when it comes to the harmonica escapades.
I mean, I would be more than okay. Here is, this is an actual quote from Jeff Maconi. Here's the part where Larry Pace makes me burn my stuff off. Now, it is actually an interesting cat and mouse game, as Maconi is right on the rear of Pace. He's less than a car length back. I mean, it is a cat and mouse game where Pace could, I'm not going to use the pun, set the speed for the rest of the field. Maconi is going to push to try and get by him right now and control, see how fast you can be. Remember, you don't have to be the fastest all race to be in P1, but you can control the speed of the entire race, the speed of the field. You just have to be in P1.
Yeah, be at the front, and then you can dictate pretty much how everyone else drives in a race like this. We'll say that Pace and Maconi breaking away a little bit from the pack of DeWeese and Mize right behind, and from there you have a little bit of a gap to Tyler Massey, and from Massey to the front of the number 8 car of Mike Wayne Robinson. That's a rather... oh boy, worst time to get the hiccups on the air. Rather significant gap between P5 and P6. But at the front of the field, though, it is still tense. That gap has plateaued a little bit. I think it teeters between that 0.2 to 0.1 of a second barrier. So the game of cat and mouse, as you mentioned a couple of moments ago, Dylan, very much so going on between Pace and Maconi.
Yeah, 100%, and it'll continue to go on, I think, for a fair bit of the race tonight. Maconi looks down the inside. They're going to be side-by-side for P1. Will Maconi have the speed, the momentum? I don't think so. The 0-0 does hit the outside wall, though, and they are neck and neck going in a 1 and 2. Will Maconi clear coming down the backstretch? No, he cannot.
Yeah, they're still going to be side-by-side, hang down to 3 and 4. Maconi holding on to that inside line. He can really dictate how Larry Pace executes this race, and you can see him sideways, slideways, coming onto that start-finish straightaway at a 3 and 4. Maconi, as much as he holds on to that inside line, he's a true but fair racer. He's going to leave that outside lane open for Pace, and look at that darting across the front of Maconi's car to hold on to that race lead down to 3 and 4.
Yeah, and that was a really, really good way of holding the lead. Maconi saying true and fair racer over the air, I believe. That was the quote that he just said over the radio. So
that was from me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm. Look at this. I wasn't even paying attention to what you were saying, Ron. Yes. You know what? What's that? Lorem ipsum. That's pretty much what I was hearing. That made up language that usually serves as the default document.
You know, honestly, Dylan, I've been doing this commentary stuff for like 2 years and 2 years and 6 months, I think it probably is. Not 2 years and 6 months, 2 years and 6 weeks up to this point. So, warning, it happens. It's happened to me many times. I'm just like trying to figure out like a bit of color commentary to give as my co-commentator is going on about something. In return, it's like stuff is happening. That is for certain. Anyways, so I don't even blame you 1 minute.
So stuff is certainly happening right now, and not a lot of stuff going on in my head when I'm listening to you, my lead announcer, my lead friend. There's also, remember, clown school. That's kind of what we do here. But hey, there's some battles going on in the mid pack right now. We're just gonna skirt around what I was just saying, and look at this, a battle for the lead.
Yeah, and here we go, side by side, back at the front between Pace and Maconi. The game of cat and mouse very much on between these two racers still. Maconi back on the inside line, and I wonder if this is yet again Larry Pace basically treating Maconi as if Pace was a mouse, and Maconi, actually, if Maconi was a mouse and Pace was a cat that was playing with it before he ate it. So, who knows, we may end up seeing this play out, but Maconi got to take the race lead. And never mind, side by side yet again. These drivers will not give out. Side by side through 3 and 4. Pace holding on to that inside line still. Maconi fast on the outside line, though, going to be able to take it. I was just going to say, I wonder if Pace giving that inside line to Maconi was just going to allow the driver of that number 86 car to burn up his stuff quicker. No, Maconi burning up to the front.
Yeah, I am really interested to see how long he can hold this, because even though he is definitely burning his stuff, Pace is also throwing that rear around a lot outside of turn 4 and turn 2. So on corner exit, he's definitely not giving his equipment any bit of solitude, any bit of a rest. Maconi, I don't know. Is this a false sense of security for him? Hey, if he drops any positions from this point on, you know the harmonica's coming out.
Oh boy, that's going to be a festive occasion. Hey, everybody tuning into this broadcast on Maconi Entertainment tonight. First off, if you haven't done this already, happy to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so I never miss out on any of the racing action. But you want to tune in for the rest of this broadcast so you can hear the harmonica from my esteemed colleague, Mr. Dylan Coyle himself. That's going to be some fun. The sound of these race cars, though, may be a bit more music to these drivers' ears. This ARCA car, I believe, just today has gotten a bit of a refresh in the new iRacing downtime update that went on earlier on today. So I wonder, once we're done with this race, we should probably have a chat with some of these drivers and ask them whether or not there's been any sort of changes with these cars. I know the fixed setups got about as rave of reviews as my dancing usually did at a family get-together. So I wonder if we are going to have any sort of stuff like that, or if there's our producer, Howie Burrows, mentioning that it may be down to the damage model on these cars. Either way, we might have to ask some of these drivers if they felt any sort of difference. Could be placebo effect, who knows?
Who knows? I'm going to just move past the comment about your dancing abilities to talk a little bit about how these ARCA cars are dancing around the track right now. Maconi is going in to corner 3, maybe not as much that time, but he's been going in a little bit deeper, I should say, into the corner, I should say, a little bit more shallow into corner entry. He's not able to get that mid-corner speed as much. He's also seeming to push tight, as the 8 of Mike Wayne Robinson is the first car a lap down. Will get way out of the way there. You see that arc? It's not as arc-like, if you will, for these ARCA cars for Maconi. Pace, I almost feel like he's just saving his equipment a little bit better at this point in time. But Tyler Massey is chasing that 6 machine right now. Hey, we do have a pretty good battle going on for the final podium spot.
Yeah, it's still very much on between Braxton DeWeese and Austin Mays. That's gonna be that's gonna be rather fun. But actually, I will note the fight is maybe going to be more between Mize and Massey, considering the small little gap that has ballooned out between DeWeese and Mize as of a half a second. Still, we're on a track like this, a half a second. That's practically nothing at the end of the day. You can have that close up with the blink of an eye as side-by-side racing yet again up at the front. Maconi stuck on the outside line this time. Larry Pace trying to wheel it in that 00 machine. This is going to be a battle as to whether or not Maconi has worn out his tires. This is going to be some fun. Yeah, Howie mentioning that he's probably burnt up his stuff. Maconi hanging out to dry on the outside line. He's going to hold his own for now, but Larry Pace certainly within striking distance.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed right there with Maconi's ability to fight back on the outside. I mean, if you are trying to conserve those tires and you're in a battle, it's better to be on that outside line rather than the inside. Something else to note here, we haven't really talked about it. Look at how much these ARCA cars jump up through the corner. Oh, as Jeff Maconi almost got into the wall. Remember, pushing tight, tight, tight. That's exactly what he did right there. He almost lost it. He fishtailed it. That could have been catastrophic for the driver of the 86.
Oh, that could have ended in disaster all throughout this round of boot camp. He has been so loose coming out of these corners. That could be part of the reason why his tires have been worn down to the canvas at the end of all this. But hey, that's not my judgment to make at the end of the day. Something's going on involving Mike Wayne Robinson. You can see him slow on the inside line with damage.
Yeah, he's got the meatball flag. That's a really damaged ARCA Menards Series race car. That is no good for the 8 car, and I believe they do have a fast repair available, as I've been told.
Yes, that's going to help him out a little bit. Keyword being a little bit. Still, that car running around rather slowly on the inside line is not going to help out his cause one bit. He is in the pits at the moment, currently class in P7 of 7 drivers out there on the racetrack here thus far tonight. 42 coming to 43 laps on the board in this 150 lap long race, and every single time we see Maconi come out of these corners, it's like a dog running on a freshly polished wood floor.
Hey man, I gotta say, Jeff has got to make amends to his rear tires because they are screaming for dear mercy because that 86 machine continues to just lose the back end on corner exit. Turn 4 seems to be more of a difficult spot for him than turn 2, just probably how the bumps go, and maybe he's pushing a little bit more. Pace is very solidly running that lower line. He doesn't seem to be pushing all that hard. We have to bring in a third player to the conversation. Oh, look at this. This is going to be a great run for Larry Pace. He had the mid-corner speed, did not get as much as I thought he would on corner exit. Braxton DeWeese now is only a second behind the 86 machine, has broken 2+ seconds clear of 4th. That's a competitor, I would say, for the rest of this race. Remember that this is a 75-lap test, if you will, before we get to the second part of this evening's 150-lap event. DeWeese saved his equipment early on, went from pole down to 3rd, but now he's starting to push and get ever so slightly closer to these leaders.
Yeah, and that was a point that I was going to raise a couple of moments ago, talking about Braxton DeWeese reeling in these drivers. If we listen very carefully through the cheers of the fans and through the roar of these engines, we can hear the Jaws theme, but look at that Pace diving down to the inside line, off into 1 and 2, that 00 car, looking to retake the race lead. He's seeing that 5 car grow bigger and bigger in his rear view, as I think my computer may have just crashed.
Well, your computer, I don't think completely crashed, but neither has the 86 or 00. But I believe Pace saw the speed that Braxton DeWeese was having and said, it's time to get the move done. We've got a 3-way fight for the race lead. 3 drivers under a twin-size blanket.
And if you are Jeff Maconi, unlike my PC, you may be crashing out a little bit, realizing that, hey, you got Pace right behind you, and Braxton DeWeese still within striking distance as well. You've led in the early stages, but we're only a third of the way through this 150-lap long race. Only 25 laps away, though, from that halfway mark and that fun time harmonica yellow, so we may end up seeing Maconi hold on to this as best as he can. This is going to be close nonetheless. Maconi, Pace, and Deweese covered by less than a half of a second, hang their way off through 3 and 4. I have a good feeling about that 5 car. Started from the pole, he dropped back a little bit, but he kept that car clean. He's kept that stuff underneath him. Those tires are probably in much better shape than the 2 right in front of him, just because he hasn't had to worry about a side-by-side bare-knuckle fist fight since the drop of the green.
Yeah, you're right about that, but it still has 52 complete laps on that set of tires. So, while he does the 5 definitely does not have as much wear on the rubber as the 86 and 00 do have, there is still a semblance of, these are still worn tires. There's still tires that are going to make passing more difficult than if, say, they were fresh just coming out of the pits. Regardless, the 5 is there and has a really good bit of entry into the corner. Doesn't necessarily roll out of the corner just as well as the 86 and 00. More fishtailing from Jeff Maconi.
Yeah, Maconi, in that 86 car, he has been sideways so much, not just throughout this race, but through the entirety of his adventure here in boot camp the previous 2 weeks. He has been sideways, slideways coming out of these corners. There's been certain points in time where I have to wonder what sort of jiu-jitsu maneuvers he has to do in reference to that steering wheel to keep it going in a straight line. But hey, it seems to be working out for him. I guess a strategy for Maconi to do well in this race is to not be comfortable at all. Basically have to walk around on eggshells and drive the race car as if it's a time bomb set to explode in a couple of seconds.
And I don't know if Jeff Maconi is keeping this lead because he wants to win this race or he just wants to avoid having to deal with the possibility of harmonica. That might be coming right now as Pace goes down the inside once again. Corner exit is going to be so important right here, and a really good exit for the 00. The 86 fights back on the outside, however, cannot clear each other going out of 2. You got to say the advantage now is in Pace.
Yeah, Larry Pace in that 00 car has that advantage. He has the good position when it comes to track position at the present moment. This is still going to be really, really intense. That is close to blows, heading off through the corners. And look at that. That is now Braxton Deweese getting involved in this battle as well. If Larry Pace loses momentum on that inside line, he's going to be in for a lot of trouble. Look at that contact coming out of 3 and 4. Larry Pace going to get a major wiggle and going to lose out on a lot of momentum. Maconi did too. Braxton Deweese in that 5 car now within striking distance.
Yeah, that was the time that the 5 of Deweese said, I've got to get going, and he gets by Larry Pace. I think he's cleared. Yes, he has, going into 1 with just 15 laps to go here in this opening half of the race. It is Maconi, Deweese, Pace, your top 3.
Yeah, and to any viewers tuning into this broadcast thinking, hey, I want to be a part of this action, a reminder, folks, this is a free-to-enter little race that's being organized at the moment. Head on off to the Maconi Setup Shop Discord server to try and get yourself involved in next week's running of this event, or hey, even the week after. We still got 2 more weeks left to go, but this is some close-quarter stuff. Hang down that back straightaway. Maconi has shaken off the challenge from Pace like a bad case of the fleas. Braxton Deweese, meanwhile, in the number 5 car running in P2, is right there as well. They're catching up to the lap car of Casey Pruitt in the number 91. Gonna get out of the way, heading down that back straightaway off into 3 and 4. Maconi, he's shaking off that challenge from now. However, Braxton Deweese in that 5 machine is still within striking distance, about a quarter of a second between those 2.
Man, this is a kind of race right now that proves you don't need a huge field of cars to have an entertaining event.
Yeah, that just about sums it. Despite the fact we only have 7 cars in this race, 5 on the lead lap, and 6 of which who were on the lead lap up until a couple of moments ago after the earlier troubles for the number 8 car of Mike Wayne Robinson. It's been a really enjoyable race up to this point. That's still 3 cars at the front of the field, covered by practically nothing. Pace trying to make something on the inside line, heading off midway through 3 and 4. It looked like we were going to go for the dive, but not close enough just yet. Braxton Deweese, though, I think he's starting to get a bit more impatient. I think he sees an opportunity to try and grab this race lead from Maconi right before that halfway break stage caution, and I have a feeling he may try and go for it sooner rather than later. Nice call out from Howie.
Guys, it's been 3 weeks. It's been 3
Howie
weeks.
is the underrated comedian feeding us the energy in this one. Hey, look at that. Deweese had a little look-sees down the inside and a pretty good cover by Maconi, but he wasn't able to get back to the bottom. And look at this. The 5 machine is now down the inside of the 886 going into 3.
Yeah, and here we go, coming out of it onto that start finish straight. Deweese deciding that now is a time to strike. Look at Pace, though, on the outside line, nearly running his way up into the wall into 1 and 2. That 0 car, he may have actually been the one to burn up his tires instead of Maconi, the shoe on the other foot for this 3rd week of the boot camp. Side by side yet again. I still have a good feeling about Pace, though, as much as he may have overshot turn 1 and 2 by country mile. This is a strategy call, banging doors and banging wheels between Deweese and Maconi, and Deweese in the 5 car gonna get the move done. Oh, that timed that perfectly with Larry Pace's sideways snap, heading through 3 and 4. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you very much, Dylan, for that. Maconi still running in P2. Now he has to fend off a challenge from Pace and trying to re-rack it to get a move done on Deweese in the next couple of laps. That halfway mark coming up in only 3 laps time. Braxton Deweese, he is in the good spot at the present moment. Q1 disappointed father. Hey, it wasn't my father that was disappointed in the harmonica. Dylan, I can't speak for you. Larry Pace trying to get moved on a Maconi, hang down into 3 and 4. He gets it done successfully. Well done to Pace. He'll slip his way up to P2. Maconi dropping down like an anvil, push out of a helicopter.
I mean, that's 2 in very subsequent laps that the harmonica has to be played. But nonetheless, Maconi, again, it was a test. How hard could he push while staying and keeping the lead? I think we see a different fight back later in the race if the opportunity presents itself. We're coming to the, I guess, not the white flag, but the last lap of this first half.
Yeah, that we are. That green and white flag going to be in the air. It's not the green and white checkered here. The green and white, I'm not sure how it would work in terms of stage racing, but lap 75 we are on now. Coming up to the halfway mark, Braxton Deweese and Larry Pace cover by about 1/10.5, licking the stamp and setting it off through 3 and 4 right now. And I think that yellow is going to maybe come out in a couple of moments' time. Braxton Deweese, there is the caution. Braxton Deweese is your winner for stage 1 here. He's followed in tow by Larry Pace in the 0. Jeff Maconi rounding out your top 3. It was a bit of a gap from the front 3 back to Tyler Massey in 4th, 4.4 seconds being the gap between Massey and your stage 1 winner of Braxton Deweese. Austin Mays finishes in P5. Casey Pruitt was 1 lap down, while Mike Wayne Robinson, after difficulties earlier on, finished that first half of the race in P7.
You know, I wish I'm gonna send our producer Howie on a mission right now, if you can, to tell Jeff to get into the broadcast booth right now. I'd like to ask him some questions and show my disappointment.
Alrighty, so before we get any sort of before we get an interrogation here in the commentary booth, I think we'll talk about the pit stops that we have going on right now. The front 4 coming down pit lane, and I wonder who's going to be the first to exit out. Will we see any drivers just decide to take 2 tires? You can see these cars up on the jacks right now. I think someone had to reverse a little bit. That or my eyes were just deceiving me, which they very well may be doing. Off the jacks is Deweese. He's going to run out and away. Look at that. Those 2 were merging each other as Larry Pace going to pick up an end-of-line penalty. I wonder if that will get waived, if that black flag will get cleared. But nonetheless, if he does, that is going to be a big reset for the 0.
I mean, that was as close as you could possibly get between the top 2 coming out of the pits right there. And if he does have to get sent to the back of the line for sure, think about it in this way. Jeff Maconi had the lead of this race for a large majority of the first 75 laps, and up until the last 2 laps, he held that lead. Well, he also had to push from the very back to take the lead. Could be a challenge for Pace. Oh, he's here.
Hello.
Hey, man, I gotta say, I just need you to know what I've been doing up in the booth. I've made some rules that I'm going to dictate. I'm the director now of this channel for the next 70 laps. Is that okay with you?
That works. Yes.
Okay. So I said, if you don't win the race, we will not interview you at the end of the race, even if you finish on the podium. That's rule 1. Is that okay?
Yeah, that works. I mean, I don't deserve it unless I win. I get that.
And finally, I just need you to know, every time you've lost a position, which has only happened twice, I play a little note from a harmonica. I just need you to know that.
I've been hearing that, so I wasn't sure what the exact cause of it was, but I'm glad that it was at least something pertaining to me. That's great.
Yes. No, you have made sure that the harmonica has appeared only twice so far. I'm actually kind of proud of you for that it's only been twice after pushing from the back of this field. You guys going green this time, by?
Yes, we are going green this time by here.
Okay.
So yeah, I gotta try and win this, but I appreciate you guys.
Hey man, we're rooting for you, but most of all, we're rooting for a good race. You have a good one. Let's see if you can get the dub tonight.
Thank you.
Oh, Jeff.
Welcome everybody to the clown show. Alrighty, about to get this race restart here in a couple of moments. The green flag is out, and the drivers are on their way. DeWeese, again, restarted off on a flyer. Some side-by-side racing going on involving Maconi and the 17 of Tyler Massey. Clearly that interview under the caution period, not allowing Maconi to get his bearing straight based off the fact that it looked like his car was fueled with sand on that restart.
Oh, he pushed way too tight coming out of 4 right there. That would have been calamity if he wasn't able to fishtail it and save the back end from going around. He still stays now in second.
Yeah, it's still close quarter stuff involving Massey, this time involving Larry Pace on the inside line. He's trying to bring back the pace that he had in the first half, but and let's see if he will be able to do it. Finds himself in third at the moment. It's deja vu yet again. Let's see how it's going to work out with now Braxton DeWeese at the front, Jeff Maconi slot in P2, and Larry Pace with a little bit of a cushion between himself and Maconi to try and overwhelm. It's about 4/5 of a second between Pace and Maconi at the present moment. Those front two trying to break away as best as they can. Maconi saying the fastest lap of the race last time by, so clearly that number 86 car still has some speed, but let's see if he has enough oomph to get past the 5.
Okay, so here's something else to keep in mind. This run will be a little bit shorter than the first stint because the caution laps still counted against the 150 lap total of this race. So that might come into play later on tonight.
Yeah, that may be a huge factor in the final stages of this race. Still 65 laps left to go, which I say that as if it's a whole lot of time. These drivers are tracking some pretty good lap times. I mean, Maconi last time by, well, not last time by, but the time before set the fastest lap of the race at a 18.227. So even if it's just an average of 19 seconds, we still only have about about 20 minutes and some change left to go in this race. So a lot of time left and also not a lot of time left. I feel like that made absolutely no sense, but it also made some sense.
Lorem ipsum. Oh, whoa. Yeah, wait.
Oh.
Yeah, caution. That was the epitome of the clown show, that entire last 20 seconds of the broadcast. Thank you. Caution is out. The 8 spun around and was on the front stretch. That could have been disastrous.
Yeah, that could have been in tears. I mean, this track kind of like Dover in the sense that if anyone has some sort of moment, there's basically no runoff area. So if you spin and you have a massive pack of race cars right around you, you are going to be turned into a race car shish kebab. That's a moment for Mike Wayne Robinson. Lost it coming out of the corner, hit the wall in the 8 machine, and I thought it was going to burn it up against the wall, but clearly he decided not to do that. As pit stops coming back yet again, DeWeese coming in.
Oh,
Pace
no, Jeff.
coming in, Maconi staying out.
Oh, no, Jeff. I mean, this is the right call, right? It's not like you're going to be sent way to the back of the field. Jeff really was using up those tires. He's going to be at a severe disadvantage. If I'm Jeff, I'm coming into the pits next time by and going to the back of the line and just taking that for what it is.
I am not sure whether or not he will do that or not. We'll say Larry Pace. I'm not sure whether he fueled up his mechanics with inordinate amounts of 5-hour energy or what. Not a sponsor of Maconi Entertainment, but if they gave us some money, we certainly won't turn it down. Larry Pace, again, off to a flyer of a pit stop. And it doesn't look like he's going to get a penalty and all of that either. So Larry
I think
Pace
he did not
in the
take left
0-0
sides. It was only right sides.
Gotcha. Yeah, that would do it. I was about to say, those pit stops, holy cow. Swapped out his ARCA crew for a Formula 1 crew there.
I mean, sometimes it happens like that, you know? You got Guido from Lightning McQueen's pit crew. You know, so it helps out. It doesn't do the entire job, but it helps out.
Yeah, that certainly does. A little bit of energy. Just feed your mechanics some I don't know, some Scott's Turf Builder or something like that. I'm not sure if that is scientifically proven in terms of bumping up your energy. I just feel like that is something that when consumed could kickstart a dying star. I may come to regret this because the announcer said, "Oh no."
I think he's gonna. I truly think it's gonna be a regrettable moment here. I hope I'm wrong, but Jeff's got 7 really aggressive laps on those tires or so. The rest of the field does not. So, I don't know. This might be dangerous territory for the driver of the 86 machine.
And one thing to raise, kind of talking about the prevalence usually in real life racing of a like a 2-tire or just staying out strategy. Usually have a lot of cars between yourself and the drivers who take 4 tires. Here, on the other hand, there's literally nothing between Braxton Deweese and Jeff Maconi. They're going to be nose to tail on this restart. So that is going to be another feather in the others' caps as the green flag comes back out. Maconi trying to block with all he can. He is going to have to drive the widest ARCA car ever conceived by mankind, as side-by-side racing right behind him, involving Pace and Deweese. Deweese in that 5 car trying to get the move done on Pace, who only took 2 tires during that stop. Will this be a good strategy call for Pace, or is he going to drop down like an anvil push out of a helicopter? Let's wait and see. Pace going to have the run coming out of 1 and 2, so it's going to work out well for him. But now Maconi, as much as Pace may not have taken 4 tires himself, 2 tires is still more than 0. I paid enough attention to math class to know that fact.
Yeah, and I don't know how much the difference is going to be between 7 or 8 lap fresher tires, but I have a feeling it's going to start to show its head sooner rather than later in this run. Look at that, Maconi already pushing well wide of the normal line through turn 4. Larry Pace is already on the 86 machine. Fastest lap of the race, I don't think there's any doubt. It's Larry Pace. He's down the inside. I think this is going to be relatively simple. Pace, though, comes a little bit off the apex, kind of hurt his line right there.
Yeah, and let's see if Larry Pace will be able to get this move done. He may want to get this done with a bit of authority and a bit of impatience, because Braxton Deweese in that 5 car is certainly going to be hauling the mail. You can see a little bit of bump drafting hang down into 3 and 4. That camera is giving us a good view of the murky nighttime skies in Nashville, Tennessee. Down the inside, off into turn number 1 and 2, Larry Pace goes. Down the inside, will this work out? Will Maconi on that outside line be able to hold his own with that head of steam hang down the back straightaway, or will Pace get it done side by side still through 3 and 4? Who's going to have the run off the corner? Looks like Pace has a nose ahead. He's going to lead that lap, but Maconi still alongside, a little bit of overlap between the two of them. Pace going to get the move done. Yeah, there we go. I was expecting it. I had to cue it up to you, Dylan. I was like, hit it, Dylan.
I keep having to change my background noise suppression, and that's the small delay whenever a pass is made.
See, that's my problem. I just have that off all the time, so if I just... You can still hear that even as I'm talking. So I think my Discord, if I had my noise suppression on and I hit the clown horn, I don't think it would know what to think. But still, we're now into the final third of this race. 49 laps left to go on the clock. Larry Pace finds himself entering this final third with the race lead. Maconi still within striking distance as well. But strangely enough, those two, despite being on the slightly off-kilter strategy, have not gone chewed up and spat out by the rest of the field yet.
Yeah, no, this is very true. I think as this race continues to move on, this is going to hurt a little bit maybe for Braxton Deweese, because last time in the 75-lap run, yes, he was this distance behind the leader. The leader was Jeff Maconi, who was really trying to save his equipment at the end of the race. Deweese really did a solid job of saving it for that late run. With Larry Pace as the leader of this race now, and potentially if it goes green, I would assume for the remainder of it, there is a solid chance that he's going to just be a little bit too far out in front for Deweese to do anything of it. If I was a betting man, I mean, again, he took 2 tires, right? Larry Pace. So Deweese has 4 tires. The left sides don't have that much wear on them at any track for the most part. That's an oval with only 7 laps on it. I still think it's going to be really difficult for Deweese to make a full gap up to Larry Pace. If I'm a betting man, I'm saying it's going to be, just based on strategy alone, the 0-0 winning this race with 43 to go. Deweese fighting for second place, and Maconi ending up third. That's just, I hope he is listening, because maybe I'll be fired before the broadcast is over. Not saying I want that to happen, but I'm saying it would be really funny.
Yeah, if anyone will like Dylan's job here at Maconi Entertainment, why not write to us? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, you can go to the Maconi Setup Shop. The website has all the information. And Howie is right there. He's just, he's dying to speak right now as he puts, if a commentator is fired, I am right here. So Howie is there. He wants to speak, and his way of communication is by writing.
Yeah, it's funny, actually. I'm going to raise this, and I think Mr. Jeremy Briggs, who I saw in the YouTube chat earlier on, can attest to this. So, Dylan, you're the commentator on the Goat Locker Racing, the Cruising Classics Next Gen series for Goat Locker Racing, broadcasted here on Wednesday nights, exclusively on Maconi Entertainment at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Really good plug in right there. That was solid.
Hey, I mean, in my defense, you've been the lead commentator for that since, I think, the end of October. The person who was the lead commentator on that before then was me. So if I couldn't get the plug in, I would be slightly disappointed.
Yeah, no, I didn't know. And apparently we're both from right around Philadelphia. So it's a Philadelphia thing, you know?
Well, I mean, we're not true Philadelphians for the... Yeah, go Birds. Go Phillies. Actually, one of the main things I noticed for this broadcast, I've watched the past 2 Phillies games. See, I'm a Phillies fan and I'm an Eagles fan. I don't watch hockey and basketball for the simple sake that neither the 76ers or the Flyers have won anything since about 1980. What was the Bill Burr quote? They haven't won stuff since Gerald Ford was off?
Yeah, that's not even true anymore. How about that, Billy Burr? Go Birds.
We'll have to end this broadcast by having some celebratory cheesesteaks before you have to do that.
For sure. Also, go Flyers. I'm a big hockey guy, big soccer guy. Go Union. And Howie is desperate to get us to mention that he's a New York Giants fan, which I did not want to embarrass him in that way, but he made it so.
Fun fact about the New York Giants. I believe the New York Giants play at MetLife Stadium. I have been there a couple of times up there in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and for the longest time, if anyone knows the history of the American Dream Mall that's right by there, I think I'm actually going to hold off on that point in a couple of moments as Braxton Deweese gets a move done on Jeff Maconi heading off through 1 and 2. That's a pretty slick move from the driver of the number 5 car to just blow his doors off, and because Maconi lost another spot, hit it to me, Dylan.
Hold on.
Yeah! that was actually a pretty good one. Well done.
Thank you. I appreciate that. At the end of the race, checkered flag, Piano Man. I give you guys a solo.
Yeah, that would be a good. That would be a good way to end this show. Just like have us play it off. And I will say, Dylan, no pressure if it isn't like a one-to-one copy, for the simple sake that if it is a little bit like screwy from the original, YouTube will not copyright claim this stream. So the more you know.
You know, sometimes we need to know that, because I'm so similar to Billy Joel that YouTube would probably think I'm copywriting Piano Man. You know?
Yeah, oh boy, my amount of experience with YouTube copyright claims, it's, oh boy, I'm not even sure what else I can say about YouTube copyright claims. But the point that I was going to raise before we went any further was talking about MetLife Stadium, which is both the home of the New York Giants and the New York Jets. It kind of like right by MetLife Stadium is what's now the American Dream Mall. For a while, that was completely abandoned. I think from like 2008 up until the late 2010s, I think in like 2017, 2018, they began construction on that again. They were trying to build this big mall, and then they stopped building it when the 08 recession hit. So then they started rebuilding it again, but for a while it was just abandoned in the parking lot of the stadium, which I think, in fairness, if there was any sort of analogy to describe the New York Jets franchise, I think it would be an abandoned mall.
You know, that's fair. An abandoned mall that's still trying to find some relevancy in today's day and age.
I will say, just for transparency, folks, I have no idea about any sport outside of racing, and you won't expect this second one, curling. Yes, I do legitimately, unironically watch curling. It's a rather long story that I don't think can be shared on the air, So any New York Jets fans tuning into this broadcast here on Maconi, if you were annoyed by that comment that I made about the New York Jets, how about you subscribe here to Maconi Entertainment to hear some more slander about some other football teams?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. Hey, we've got some side-by-side action between Tyler Massey and Austin Mize right there. Massey makes the move and I think makes it sticky. Yes, indeed, he does. You know, pretty impressive move. Actually, it wasn't a pass on Austin Mice. It was a pass on Mike Wayne Robinson, who is now only one lap down. Remember, he went multiple laps down, but because of that lap 75 caution, as well as, I believe, that caution just a few laps later with him spinning, I wonder if it's helped him get to now just one lap down.
Yeah, I think he may have gotten a couple of waiver ends during all that. I saw him passing the pace car, which under normal circumstances would net you penalty. I'm pretty sure the penalty box here at invoking a little bit of hockey terminology. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the penalty box here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway is actually right next to the tow trucks and the honey buckets on the inside. Which Dylan, by the way, a nice little fun fact for you: the past two times that Larry Pace has won this race, he's crashed into the tow trucks on the infield.
I'm gonna let you.
As you should.
I'm unmuted here
as
to
you
say
should.
that there were complaints about the Jet slander in the voice chat. It wasn't Jeff. I don't know who it is. So, you know, this is I'll just let that one simmer in the mind as we finish this race.
Honestly, I appreciate how your message there, but if I can relay one, it's that talk to us again when the Jets have a team to play.
Oh, don't do this. You're just making this worse.
Listen. All I gotta say, go Birds.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
This is such a mess.
There's only one response I have to that rather sour, that sad sentence I was uttered a couple of moments ago. There we go.
They're even madder about the Go Birds. It's just quickly falling out of control. We need to say something nice.
This is a mess.
We got actually, no, we got 18 laps now left to go in this race. Right as I was going to say, we got 19 screw it. 18 laps now left to go. Larry Pace finds it with a 3 1/4 second lead between himself and Braxton DeWeese. Despite the fact he put all 4 on that race car, I feel like you raised a good point a few minutes ago, Dylan. I just feel like the pace difference between having the 2-tire strategy, like Larry Pace, and the pace of DeWeese, who took 4, it's just so non-negligible that I think you really cannot square the difference between the two.
100%. Oh, by the way, Jeff is now upset. Actually, yeah, that wasn't even me playing the harmonica at first. I did it in response to Ron doing it. It was not me first, Jeff. That's all I've got to say. But yeah, that's kind of what it...
I will say, it's not one of us at fault, really, for the harmonica stuff. It is essentially murder and accessory. I'm not sure who's who, but I think that's how it's going.
Oh, good Lord. But yeah, like you were saying, I think that caution and the differing strategies right here, it really did play out this way. I didn't think that 4 tires was going to be that big of a difference compared to 2 right side tires, but 2 right side tires versus not paying at all is obviously ending up as a massive difference here. Now, if we did get a caution late going here, it would set up a absolute dogfight for the win of this race.
Well, as the other Kyle Busch quote, doesn't matter what it's going to be a green, white, checkered. We may end up seeing that between now and the end of this race, now with 12 laps left to go for Larry Pace to go for 3 straight in Maconi's boot camp. Jeff currently slotted in 3rd at the present moment. Don't think he's going to lose another spot. I may have just jinxed him there, unfortunately for him. Currently 6.3 seconds behind Larry Pace, and the gap between himself and Tyler Massey is around 2.5 seconds, give or take, so that's not going to be too bad. Not the end of the world for Maconi. Still not very ideal, but hey, it's a 3rd. It's not going to be an interviewing spot for him, though.
Yeah, it's definitely not going to be an interviewing spot. He agreed. He agreed. That's all I've got to say. But, I mean, this is kind of what I was assuming it would be, right? Pace P1 because he was able to get by Maconi very early in this 60 or so lap run to end it here. DeWeese, it was going to be more of a struggle to get fully by Maconi and then try and get the gap between he and the 00 down. Right now, I feel like there could be an opportunity. I don't know how big it is for Tyler Massey to catch up to the 17. But this is a battle for position that we see right on screen. And I guess you could say it could be the battle between 2 drivers who don't want to be last in this race. They're both 1 lap down, but Robinson and Pruitt, I mean, 6th and 7th on track.
That's the last car battle that we got going on right now between Robinson and Pruitt. Practically nothing between the 2 of them coming out onto that start-finish straightaway. This is going to be a brawl between these drivers. Hey, you take 9 minus 1, you get 8, and the 91 is currently battling with the 8. I have no idea how that applies to the situation that we see on screen right now, but you live and you learn, I guess.
I appreciated the math right there, but I also I don't know what to say. That was yeah, we got 5 laps left.
we got 5 laps to go, and for the 5 car, it currently finds itself not 5 seconds back of Larry Pace. In fact, it's 4. But hey, when it comes to that math quote that I said a couple of moments ago, for as long as I can remember, I've had memories. Larry Pace is your current race leader, coming to 3 to go this time by as a.
That is awesome.
It was something, all right. I can't tell whether that was funny, or a frontal lobe migraine. 3 to go now for Larry Pace, on track for his 3rd win in a row.
Yeah, gotta say, Ron, I'm really impressed with your wit. And that is all because of being from Philadelphia, because when you are from Philly, not only do you have wit, but you have Super Bowls in recent years. Go Birds.
Go Birds, yeah, there we go. That's I would say what some of the players said on the other steps of the Art Museum. However, I don't think that can be broadcasted. Side-by-side racing going on involving Mike Wayne Robinson and Casey Pruitt. This is going to be some fun. we give it a threat from the production truck. I'm going to stop talking about football now because I'd quite like my voice to go out on the air. This is going to be close between these two racers, and right behind them, in fact, this battle for the final spot in this race. Larry Pace is going to grab his third win in a row from the boot camp. There's a checkered flag for Pace. He is your winner in the 00 car yet again. I wonder if he's going to go for yet another round of bowling with those tow trucks that you see on the infield, or whether or not we're going to see him slam into either a camper, some poor family's tent, or one of the honey buckets. Let's wait and see.
Or the soccer stadium that is apparently being built here. Well, he's going down into the pit, so you know that left turn is coming right now. Oh, yeah. You know exactly what he's going to be doing. And that is Tow Mater.
Wow.
Goodness.
And finally tonight on Channel 14's Action News, Tow Mater died yesterday at the age of, I don't know,
He still has his fast
69
repair. Let
years
him cook.
old. There we
Let him
go.
cook.
He still got the fast repair for him, so that... Oh, God, he just Austin Powers himself between the two tow trucks. That's a sentence I don't think has ever been said before.
I don't know. It may have been. But nonetheless, that is the third round of the Jeff Maconi boot camp at Nashville Fairgrounds. And I think that you can look back at this entire race and say that it was that one naturally occurring caution and the strategic decisions that were made that eventually did decide what we see as the race results.
Yeah, and here are the results at the end of this race. Larry Pace grabbing yet another win. The Canadian has been on fire as of late, and despite the fact he Austin Powers himself between the two tow trucks, he's still going to bring that car into victory lane after a brief visit from the mechanics. Braxton DeWeese going to finish in P2. Jeff Maconi riding at your podium in third. Finishing in fourth will be Tyler Massey. Finishing in P5 will be Austin Mays. Mike Wayne Robinson got the better of Casey Pruitt in that end of the race battle to finish in P6. Casey Pruitt going to be the last driver to cross the checkered flag in P7. Cross the line, take the checkered flag. Cross the checkered flag, take the line. Who knows? Anyways, Dylan, I think we got some drivers waiting in the interview waiting area, and based off the fact I sound like I was speaking in tongues there, I think I'm going to let you take the first interview while I get my tongue unwrapped around my teeth.
Yep, copy there, and we've got Larry Pace going for 3 for 3 in the Jeff Maconi boot camp. And Larry, first, congratulations. I feel like it came down to the caution that came after the midway break, where you decided to go in, you got two tires, you came out first out of the pits, but at that point, the 86 machine had 8 laps or so of hard racing on those tires. Did you feel like you were a shark, just chasing him in the water after that?
Yeah, pretty much. That's how I'd put it. Getting off in front of Braxton was, my main priority. It's very, very, very hard to pass here in this car. The ARCA car has so much grip. I kind of was dilly-dallying in the first stage, and Jeff got, ahead on me a little bit, and I was like, let me see if I can learn something following him trying to set up a pass, and I legitimately could not set anything up until very late in the run. There was really only tire fall off on the rear tires in like the last 25 laps. So yeah, after taking 2, with how tight it was, I thought I'd be in pretty good shape, especially with the track position starting outside of Jeff.
It definitely seemed like the first half of this race had a fair bit of equalizing between the top 3 and you, Braxton and Jeff. Take us through some of those battles going on earlier. I felt like there wasn't as much separation as maybe it would have seemed based on Jeff trying to really, really hard to keep you behind. You kept trying to make some runs on the outside, couldn't make it work all the time.
Yes, so my game plan from the start was to get the lead if I could, and then just kind of drive as hard as I needed to. And then I saw Braxton was saving a lot harder in third, so I had my eye on that on the relative. And that's when me and Jeff got to racing, and it just kind of worked out that, I got stuck behind Jeff and was like really trying to get around him, and then Braxton snuck up on us, and he had a little bit tire advantage from saving earlier, so we just couldn't get away from each other, all of us. It was really fun, actually.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. But once again, Larry, congrats on the win. Here's your chance to give shout outs to whoever you'd like to thank for making it all happen for you.
No one in particular. I guess the drill aisle. Jeff for putting this on. Once again, you guys for doing the broadcast. And somebody please sign up next week and beat me so I can stop racing these. I'm going to stop when I get beat. Somebody please beat me.
Larry Pace is inevitable, but he's looking for that end game moment, and he's Thanos in this situation. Congratulations once again, Larry.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I mean, you write inevitable up on the screen. Obviously, you've got to mention Thanos.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, as someone who never saw any of the movies, I feel like I am not in the position to make any further word about that. So we got Braxton DeWeese waiting in the interview waiting area. I'll drag him in by the collar to have a quick little chat with one of the other drivers in this race. Braxton, welcome in to the booth. It looked like a pretty fun race from your perspective in the number 5 car. Talk us through it.
Yeah, it was a real fun one. That first run, we all ended up cycling right back to each other, and I heard Levi talk about it a little bit. I was saving my tires, and we started going at pretty much the right time when they started racing, and we were able to get around the outside and then make a move on Jeff. We used a right front just a teeny bit, kind of moved him up the track just a little bit. I didn't want to do much, but we had to do a teeny bit to get around him, so I felt like that was good enough, nothing more. Just some pretty good short track racing, and we were able to get around and lead to the halfway break. But caution came out a few laps after, about 11 or something laps after the halfway break, and I came down. I took 4 and filled it up. I'm not exactly sure what he did, if he took just fuel, if he took tires and fuel or whatever, but either way, it definitely worked in his favor, and what he was able to do, I couldn't really send it down on the corner without it absolutely just blowing the tires off of it. But second place is still better than third and fourth and so on, so we'll take it.
I'm sure you're not going to be too upset about that one bit. I want to ask you about that pitch strategy call after that first naturally occurring yellow. Yes, this question does have a fantastic ring to it, rolling off the tongue like rich gooey molasses. Taking 4 tires for that pit stop. In retrospect, would you have decided to take 2 instead, or 0 tires at all? Would there have been a change looking back on it?
Yeah, probably whatever he would have done, but probably just like 2 tires or something. I'm not too sure. He definitely had a quicker stop than we did, and I realized, all right, he probably took like 2 or something. Granted, I'm still not sure, but I believe he did. Either way, I don't know if it would have made much of an advantage. The tire wear was 99 on all the way around, but it could have just made the way just the car handled and the way just all the weight differences and all that when it just went around the corner could have made a little bit of a difference. But again, I'm not too sure. He could have just been way faster on pace, but man, I don't know. The first run kind of has me thinking other than that, but either way, we still had a pretty good run. Just got to figure it out for next time.
Yeah, still a very good run for you. And we got next week and the week after left here in Jeff Maconi's boot camp. But Braxton DeWeese, thank you so much for joining us here in the commentary booth. And before we let you go and celebrate the second place run here at Nashville this evening, is there anybody you want to give a thanks to or shout out?
Yeah, most definitely. Big shout out to Short Track Report on the car. They do a bunch of exactly what I just said, a bunch of reporting for short track stuff. So they do predominantly around the East Coast area and all that area, just because of how just the short track stuff is pretty big over here. But just short track stuff in general, and they're always up to date with all the breaking news and all that stuff. So go give them a follow on Twitter and Facebook, and I believe Instagram as well. So big shout out to them, as well as Interstate Ford. A little thing about Interstate Ford, they're really helping me out with just what I've had the past couple years with just upgrading my stuff on the sim race, which is pretty damn cool. And I'm actually working to get a mobile sim rig together, so I can take my old sim rig that I had before I won this new one from a championship, which was very, very good to have for this situation. So I can take it to any festival or to any of the sponsors. For example, I could take it to Interstate Ford, the guys that are working in the shop, or any of the people that are working up front in the office part during their lunch break or whenever. They can come out, try it, and get an idea of what we have going on here. And, I'll also just try to get what I have going on more out there to get more eyes on it, as well as the sponsors as well. So, just doing what we can, and hopefully we can do good with that. But big shout out to them for getting that rolling. I'm looking forward to that once we get that all settled. But also shout out to Allen's Arts Images, 3 Dips Ice Cream Shop, Bennett's Publical, Jans of Maine, Deweese Renovations, Drill and Captures, Booth 34 Diecast, Scrub and Tires Media, Blaze Designs, Evan Pineda Designs, Chance 3 Design Shop, and Bullet All Coffee Company. As always, you can use Brex5 for 10% off over there. But I appreciate you guys letting me ramble on for a little bit, and I'll let you all have it back.
Oh, don't worry about that at all, Braxton. We have been rambling ever since the start of this broadcast. And well done on the other sponsor reads. I don't think I could have done them any better myself. But Braxton, thank you for joining us here in the commentary booth. And well done on the P2. Excited to see you back out on the track for the next 2 weeks of the series.
I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
You as well. That right there was Braxton Deweese. And Dylan, I'll let you grab who you want to grab next.
Well, we do have a competitor in Mike Robinson. And Mike, hey, congrats on, I believe you did win that battle at the end of the race. And that was actually a lot of fun to watch. It was the closest on-track battle for probably the last 40 or so laps. Just take us through it. I know it was not for the win of the race, but you guys were very evenly matched, and it was fun to watch.
I'm just glad there was somebody back there I could race with, to be honest with you. The rest of those guys, man, they were rockets. Like, it's a new car. I mean, haven't really driven Nashville Fairgrounds that much, and anything other than a mini stock and maybe a modified. But it was pretty fun. Kind of punted Casey a little bit at one point, backed off, let him have the position. So it was fun. It was fun. Get to actually come out and race and not have to worry about stressing,
Yeah, 100%. It feels like, whenever you have a race like this where there is a level of seriousness to it, but also for the most part, it's almost a training ground to get better, to enjoy time with other racers on the service, to have the race broadcasted. It's probably one of those situations where it's like, you know what, doesn't matter where I finish, but it as long as it's a good time, you're going to come out of it happy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's small. I like it. And I got a little bit of screen time, so I'm happy.
Hey, it was a fun watch with you on screen, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to thank anyone you want to thank for making it happen for your iRacing operation.
Racing Paradise Podcast, Jacob, Rick Walt, Mark Schisler, and now me on the broadcast crew for them. Spinebuster Esports, Spinebuster Clothing, Jeff Maconi Setup Shop, you guys up here in the booth, Overseer News, Southern Havoc Designs, the Stint Link, Inside Burn Podcast, JP Customs, Carol's Auto Repair, and 444 Simulations, along with Dubby. So use code Warrior24 at checkout at WGG for 10% off, boys.
Yeah, no, that's definitely someone right here, Ron, that has prepped for the moment in the spotlight. Am I wrong?
I mean, who knows?
Yeah. Hey, listen, that is a great ad read. We've been trying to have fun all night long on this broadcast, and really appreciate you being a part of it, Mike. And hopefully we see more people who would like to join, race with Mike, race with others at Nashville in the coming weeks. And Mike, gonna wish you a pleasant good well.
Absolutely. You guys too. You guys have a good one.
Sometimes I ramble as well, Ron, and I think that's an example of me rambling right there. I was looking for you to help me with the transition.
Well,
and you let me down.
I will say, in my defense, I got a message from not our boss here at Maconi Entertainment, a different boss asking if I was on a show tonight. I'm like, yeah, why? Do you need me to come in or something like that? But no, we're good to go. Alrighty, Dylan, that was a pretty fun race, man. And I think we also have Jeff up there. He's also switched from the Maconi Esports Discord to the full chat into there.
Ron,
yeah,
we're not doing it.
Promises. Yeah,
we're not doing it.
We're gonna keep it. I think we may go down after this broadcast is done and probably have our harmonicas confiscated. But Dylan, this was a heck of a lot of fun this evening.
Yeah, this was a very fun broadcast.
Get in!
No, absolutely not. We're not even acknowledging.
You're forgetting who
not
runs this
acknowledging.
You're forgetting
Jeff
who runs
Maconi.
this place.
You're all forgetting who has the
Thank you
mics
so
on
much
this
for tuning in
stream.
to-
And you know what
everybody.
You're
Hey,
forgetting
Ron,
who has the mics.
you know who we're not forgetting? We're not forgetting who owns Nashville Fairgrounds, and it's not Jeff Maconi.
That is true. Larry mopped the floor with me, dude. I don't know how he does it. It's really, I will say this. It is incredibly helpful that I have a constant goose to chase whenever I'm doing this. Because if I were going out there and just like winning by as much as he does, I'd be like, okay, I need to find someone that can beat me. But no, Larry is going to come in and beat me every single week. Braxton, it was a ton of fun racing with him. I can't believe I got to lead any laps. Shout out to everyone on the car. Chastity Tucker is a realtor here in Clarksville, Tennessee, where I live and am buying a house, and I should have used her, but I didn't. And if I had found her services, you know, a month, 2 months ago, I absolutely would have. But be sure to not be stupid like me. Don't not use a realtor. Use a realtor. Use Chastity Tucker. So thank you to her for coming on board the car. 4K Motorsports, Abruzzi Racewear, Big Fish Barbecue, Maconi Setup Shop, Maconi Entertainment. That is in no particular order whatsoever. They are all amazing, and I'm very thankful to them. And that is all I had to say. I will see myself out. I know when I'm not wanted somewhere. So you all have a good night, and thank you to everyone for watching.
Right,
I
Jeff,
love you
you
all
have
of
my
you.
full
Thank you.
support, and I would never disrespect you.
As Jeff Maconi just said, Jeff Maconi, what? I already forget. Never mind. Who cares? Anyway, goodbye, Jeff.
This has been a broadcast here on Maconi Entertainment. It's been a podcast. It's been a broadcast. It's been an entertaining night of racing action. Hey, racing action's still not over, Dylan. We got that Goat Locker race coming up later on this evening. You want to give the viewers a little preview of that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's get back into a serious mode for a second right here. We've got some Cruising Classics Next Gen Series racing action from Goat Locker Racing, and it's actually the second of two races in the round of 12 for the series. It's going to be at Dover Motor Speedway, a home track, I guess you could say, for both of us. Ron, it's grew up going there, but nonetheless, 12 drivers will enter the night with a chance to make it into the round of 8, and only 8 will advance. Jeremy Gardner is locked into the round of 8, courtesy of his victory at Charlotte Motor Speedway last Wednesday night. There was some misconduct that happened during the race that has led to drivers no longer being eligible for playoffs. So if you want some drama, some good racing, and all of it happening at the Monster Mile, make sure to tune in to Maconi Entertainment again in 38 minutes. 8:30 p.m. Eastern is when we go live for that.
And those races are always fun. And hey, speaking of some fun shows coming up here on Maconi Entertainment, we've got a brand new, well, not exactly brand new. We had them last week, but they are now coming back here on Maconi Entertainment full time. The action from the Full Length Cup Challenge Friday Night Lights Series. That's going to be at Rockingham. Howie's going to be on the cameras, I believe. I will be on comms for that. And that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun from that race there at the Rock. But as for this broadcast for the third week of Jeff Maconi's boot camp, I think that will just about do it. So for myself, Ron Mullins, Dylan Coyle joining me in the commentary booth, and Howie Burrows having to put up with us two knuckleheads throughout this show, I say thank you all so very much for watching this presentation here on Maconi Entertainment this evening, and we hope to see you all wherever it is in the not too distant future.
Game doesn't end until you stop doing that.